I just want to state this right now. Regardless of what others may think, I personally love this episode quite a bit. In terms of adaptation and anime versus manga, this episode was superior, hands down, compared to the manga. And regardless of the ending, if you be an anime only or a manga reader, regardless of Dornan Bolt popping up and saving Wendy, I still like this episode, regardless of the ending that is very meh. Regardless of that one particular scene, I cannot look past how majority of this episode was very good. The entire focus of this episode, about 99%, or 95%, there you go, 95% of this episode was focused on Wendy. And getting to see her fight, a true fight just for her. This is like one of the first times we've ever seen Wendy have a fight by herself, with no help, just by herself, and save the day. Regardless of the ending, of her being saved and surviving, I still like what this episode showcased. What this episode really serves as the meaning, like the theme of this episode, is character development for Wendy. Wendy figured out, or she realized she needs to be strong by herself. She needs to be able to defeat opponents by herself. She cannot always look upon Natsu or Lucy or anyone else to fight her battles for her. She can't. And she comes to realize this the way she fights this demon. The way she uses Dragon Force, she uses Dragon Force to defeat this opponent, and she learns these new abilities to be able to fight this person. It just showcases Wendy is more independent as a character compared to how she used to be, because she's always been that type of character that was the support character that used to just give, health buffs and shit, defensive buffs and stuff against enemies, and that's all she really was there for. And if you think about it now after seeing this, she can now take her place as one of the fellow fighters of Fairy Tail. And so this is kind of what you really want to look at when it comes to this episode. Wendy became more independent. She can stand by herself without the help of others. So in terms of the way her character was built up in this episode, I like that. And let's not brush aside, even though she did survive, the meaning is kind of still there. She was willing to kill herself and sacrifice her life in the act of what she did in this episode when she used the self-destruction button on Face. Even though she survived, when she pressed that button, she thought she was going to die. She did. And so, she accepted that and was going to live with that. Well, if she would have died, she wouldn't have lived with that because she'd been dead. But the point stands. She accepted that she was going to die. And she was going to let that happen. So right there, we can't look past the emotions and feelings Wendy had at that moment and what she felt. I can't. I can look at one scene of an episode, and I can nitpick it. I can. I can talk about that Doran Bolt scene all day if I want to. And yes, it does frustrate me. I'm not going to deny it. It frustrates me that she did get saved, because that was a perfect setup with the flashbacks, the way it was done. It was a beautiful way probably to kill off her character. But in the end, this is Fairy Tail, and this is a shonen, so we gotta remember that at the end of the day, Fairy Tail's not a series we should take 100% serious all the time. Sometimes it is serious, sometimes it's not, and Fairy Tail does have these type of issues when it comes around, but it's not something for me to really just throw aside and negate the enjoyment this episode gave me through 95% to 99% of the episode. I can't, say all those emotions I felt is gone, because I enjoyed it. I really did. See, I'm a manga reader. I knew what was coming. I saw this coming. I knew what was going to happen at the end. Regardless of me knowing, what was going to happen, I still enjoyed this episode. The enjoyment is there. I watch anime for enjoyment. That is what we all do. Let's face it. And this is that top episode. Just enjoying what we witnessed with the beautiful soundtrack to some really good animation. That animation was fucking great. and the voice acting was solid with Wendy. Like, the emotions and all that at the end, very good. So, yes, on point episode of Fairy Tail. Now, I want to say right now, if you enjoyed this episode, I promise you right now, this is not the last time you'll get to see something truly stunning. Something un-Fairy Tail-like will be happening very soon. I'm just going to say it right now. I'm not going to say what that means. I'm not going to say what that means, but something very un-Fairy Tail-like will happen very soon, and it's why so many of us manga readers really, really want this arc animated, why we are hyped up. But I'm not going to say, because spoiler reasons. So get ready for that, because you're going to see some epic shit very soon. Tell me your thoughts in the comments below. You all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.